Shanghai Baby by Zhu Wei Hu. Book review. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, by the way. Sorry. So, add this one to the long list of books that sound a lot cooler than they actually are. I saw this in the bookstore and I was completely seduced by the back cover, which made it sound like such a cool book, only to be very disappointed with the actual book itself. Halfway through this book, I realized I was just completely bored with it and would probably have discarded it, except I've got this new resolution to try and finish books I've started, so I stuck with it. I guess first of all, let me quote from the back cover so that you know what it was that kind of got me so interested in the book, or what I thought sounded really cool. It says, banned and burned in China. Apparently this book was banned in China. Shanghai Baby is the story of a young urban woman, Coco, who waits tables by day and explores Shanghai's intoxicating underbelly by night, while trying desperately to write a novel so that she might burst upon the city like fireworks. Coco falls in love with an impotent and drug-addicted artist, but begins a wistful affair with a married Western businessman with a penchant for seduction. Her candid yet poetic exploration of a woman's sexuality, Wing Hu reads like a modern-day Aeneas Nin. Her provocative portrayal of men and women in cultural transition astonishes with its exposure of the unacknowledged new China and a generation determined to burst free. Now that sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? In addition to that, also on the back cover, there's another blurb from another reviewer who calls Wei Hu the female version of Kerouac. I was a big fan of Kerouac when I was young, so that encouraged me. And the comparison is not completely random. Wei Hu herself is also encouraging comparisons to Kerouac and Henry Miller because she references both of those authors several times throughout the book. I found it, though, it's not really on the road. It's more of a romance novel. It's fundamentally a love story about a woman caught between two men and her inability to choose between them. I might get in trouble for stereotyping here, but I thought, okay, this isn't for me. This is a romance novel aimed at women. At least that's what I thought at the time when I originally reviewed it. Kind of looking at this now, I'm thinking, boy, maybe that's a little bit sexist to say, okay, no men can read this book. I don't know. I did have a friend who happened to be a female, a woman, who had also read this book, and we were chatting about it, and she hated it just as much as I did. As my friend put it, she meaning the narrator, all she does is talk about herself the whole time and talks about how beautiful and how smart she is and how all the guys love her. I just wanted to reach across the book and slap her. Now, this was actually something I felt as well when reading the book. The main love story seems to be between the author and herself. In fact, had the author been sitting across from me while I was reading this, I might have gotten the urge to say to her, look, nobody cares. We all have our own problems in life. Nobody cares about how brilliant everyone thinks you are, or how many guys like you, or how brilliant an artist you are. Now, the danger here is I'm assuming the narrator is synonymous with the author. the character in the book is not Wei Hu, it's Coco. But how much of this is autobiographical? Well, the last time I checked Amazon's book page on this, there's a debate going on. Some people say it's autobiographical. Some people say it's not. Certainly, Coco's life parallels Wei Hu's life at a number of points, including publishing the same books in the past. So it's referenced that Coco has published some of the same books that Wei Hu has published. So it seems like Coco is just a stand-in for the author. And it definitely seems like the narrator, whether it's Coco or the author or whatever, is just obsessed with herself and just wants to tell you how brilliant she is and how beautiful she is and how everyone loves her and how everyone thinks she's beautiful. Now, this book was banned in China because of its sexuality. But by Western standards, it doesn't seem to break any new ground. Certainly, it's no more sexually explicit than a number of other books I've read recently, like, say, I Am Charlotte Simmons or The Stand, or a number of books. Also, one last note. This book contains what I would like to submit as possibly the worst metaphor in print. I know it's a steep field, but just put this one into consideration. The Shanghai winter is wet and disgusting, like a woman's period.